Well, hello, YouTube Power Hour Squad. Erika here for part 2 of my interview with Natalia Taylor. So it ended up going a little longer, and I decided to split it up into 2 parts because we just went into so much detail and so many different things. And so if you haven't watched part 1 yet, make sure you go. I will put the links there in the show notes and down below here on YouTube. And if you've already seen part 1, then here is part 2. Enjoy. Mwah. So you grew 700,000 subscribers in a year, which is crazy. You said at first you were losing subscribers, but was there a video or something that just kind of got you back on that trajectory?
Yeah, people started remembering me once I created my video where I talked about the America's Next Top Model experience, because
I saw that one, yeah.
I had a video where I shared my terrible top model casting. And that's where I started getting comments like, oh, I remember this girl. Didn't she disappear? You know, it kind of put me back on the map, of the YouTube map for a minute. So that's where I really came back strong with a name for myself. And I was branding myself as, you know, with the new look, the new brand of who I am now, and new people were coming. New people were loving it.
Yeah, that's great. And then you've gotten so many of your views. I'm sorry, your videos. I mean, this one from 8 months ago was a few months after that one. $5.4 million about looking like your Zodiac sign. Did you expect that one to go viral?
No. And here's the funny thing is, so in that video, there's, I don't know if I can technically say this, but I don't really care. There's a sponsorship in that video for Scentbird, as you can see. And they had no idea it would go viral either. And so that video was projected to get, you know, maybe 100,000 views at the most. And so I got paid for that sponsorship for 100,000 view video. And so it's just very crazy to think that now that's my most viewed video and it has a sponsorship. So I know that whoever settled that deal for this video got a promotion that day. That's all I know.
That was the deal of the century for Scentbird, that's for sure. I mean, when I watched it, I was like, this is a sponsored video, a 5 million viewed sponsored video. I mean, I think that's a testament to you as a creator to be able to create a video that's a sponsored video that it's actually something that people want to watch.
Yeah, I like to keep my sponsorships interesting. As you can see, I'm like pretending my arm is cut off or something. But it is really funny that, you know, the Scentbird sponsorship was in there because they didn't want me to make a Zodiac video, actually. They wanted me to do a different video, but I insisted on doing, you know, the Zodiac line because I knew that people would enjoy it. And after the video went viral, they were all about that concept, and they actually started promoting their Zodiac line more than all of their other fragrances.
Yeah. And probably got a ton of sales from that video.
Yeah, and it did really well. And they actually took that video because in the contract, they have rights to use it as advertisement. And they were putting it on Facebook, my video. And so I was getting texts from my friends at home like, I saw you in a Facebook ad. And it was Scentbird promoting their Zodiac collection from my viral video. And it was really a funny feeling. But no, I love that this new vibe of positivity and talking about the Zodiac signs and modeling and exposing the truth is my new thing now. And it just feels like such a good niche for me.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Obviously, you grew 700,000 subscribers in a year. You know, like, I'm a big believer, like with YouTube, it's like, yes, it's important to pay attention to analytics and all these types of things, but YouTube is a tremendous feedback loop, right? Like you even said, in the sense that, you know, if you're kind of putting out toxic content, it's you see it in the comments, right? It's this whole feedback. And when you found your groove and you really resonate with the content and it just kind of, it works both ways, and it just takes off. People like it, people respond to it. That then sends YouTube data that, hey, people are watching it, people are staying, people are engaging, and then it's kind of, then it snowballs, and then people will continue to watch it, and it snowballs, and then you just end up in your position where you're here now, a year later, doubling your subscriber base.
Yeah, and it's so amazing, and I'm very happy about where I am now, not just, with my subscribers, but also in my career, because I mean, I've just moved out to California last month, like the typical,
YouTuber.
pack up and leave and go to the coast and see if that, if that is your destiny. And it's all about taking risks. And so I have my, my subscribers, I owe them everything that I have is because of them. And even though I'm pursuing other things, I just want my subscribers to know that, like, YouTube is always my number one. It's always my bread and butter. It's what I identify the most with. It's who I am, and they're the ones that are really pushing me to grow, and I want them to be a part of it as well.
So when you are coming up with video topics now, right, do you pay attention at all to keywords, SEO? Do you kind of study any of that stuff?
Yeah, so I do. Believe it or not, I'm very, very analytically oriented.
Okay.
I put a lot of thought process into my branding and, how to focus, my metadata to fit the mold of hitting every note, because there are so many different notes when you upload a video that you need to hit, not just, a great thumbnail and a great video and a great title, but there's so many other things that you have to take into consideration that people don't know about. Like you mentioned, keywords, hashtags, and, trending topics, CPM, all of these things. I do research on what's relevant and current, because I want to make content that people are interested in. And it's plain and simple. If you make content that people are interested in, people will watch it, and therefore you will, you'll have job security. So
yeah. And so how do you research? Or say you come up with a video topic, or do you do your research first and then come up with topics that way?
I actually, when I think of videos to put on my channel, I sort of reverse engineer them. In the sense of, I think of a really curious topic. I'll just out of nowhere get inspired by just a topic that sparks my curiosity. Like, what would it be like if I painted my entire room pink and, did something? Like, I think about, like, these random thoughts. It's so funny, because I think that's where, like, inspiration and creativity really does get to come into it. But I really think of the title and the thumbnail and the topic of the video as a whole before I start thinking logistics and how I would film it and what, if it would be a vlog. I usually reverse engineer my videos and start with a title and a thumbnail as a topic, and then figure out how I can make that happen in real life.
Yeah, I think that's so smart. That's what because I work with YouTubers as clients and all that, and I say the same thing. You need to conceptualize your thumbnails and your title before even thinking about how you're going to do the video. That is the most important thing. And so for you, when you're coming up with it, what are you doing? Are you doing research on it? Like, what would be that process for you?
So that process for me, I look up, like, Google Trends. Google Trends is a really great resource for any YouTubers out there trying to get started and create videos on trending topics. You just search keywords on Google Trends, and it'll come up with what keywords paired together are trending right now in all different countries across the world. Also, if I come up with an idea, normally my ideas are 100% original. I don't normally, I don't normally hop on other people's trends too much. Like, the only time I can remember that I did that was, like, I did a Control My Life video, I think. But aside from that, I don't do tags. I don't do things like that where other people are doing them. Almost all of my content is 100% original. And so that constant flow of inspiration comes through, and Usually it comes through if there's not a blockage.
Yeah.
But then I'll start to, maybe do some research on that topic, see if other people have done it before and if it was successful, see if it's trending. And so that's the way I normally do it is, I will do that research, but it's always on a topic that was 100% my own thought.
Have you ever kind of had an idea that you loved and then through your research you realized like, I don't know if this is going to do well?
Yeah, actually. So a recent video that I kind of was thinking about making was I wanted to purchase everything that the Wish app recommended to me in their ads and see if, because I thought wouldn't that be so funny? Because the Wish app always recommends to me the weirdest stuff, and it's always like stuff that I don't even know what it is. But then like I thought about it and I did research, and so many people have done Wish videos and so many people have done purchasing stuff from ads, and it just didn't feel original enough. So I scrapped the idea, even though I would have had fun with that video anyways. Being original and new and innovative is always my number one. That's
interesting. I think that's interesting that for you, it's important. And I think that's contributed a lot to your success. Because when you look at your videos, they're interesting. They're unique, and they resonate with you because you do a lot of videos that make sense, like the Victoria's Secret one, or not Victoria's Secret, what is it? Top model one, like model related. And then
I do Victoria's Secret ones too.
I think I saw Victoria's Secret, and then like how to make myself look hotter on an app, and like kind of model-ish related, which like makes sense. Because honestly, like before I had, a lot of my subscribers tell me to bring you on, which I told you. And so I hadn't heard of you before. So then I went onto your channel and I kind of immediately was like, oh, she's like a model sharing her like model secrets and life, right? That's the first thought I had when I like clicked on your channel and looked at your videos. And then when I started watching them, I'm like, oh, okay, there's more to that. But I feel like you have a lot of those.
Yeah, people love when I talk about the modeling industry, and I love that I've labeled and branded myself as a model, because unfortunately you can't really get out of being labeled on YouTube.
Yeah.
It kind of happens for everyone, and you have to take it, which can be inherently a negative thing, a label, and turn it into something, that you just have to go with it. You just have to roll with your label, and I wanted to just go with it. I wanted the label to be my friend. And so I decided to start calling myself like that model that's exposing the industry and talk more about my modeling. And like you said, that was your first impression, that you're like, oh, that's a model, And so I really do like that label, even though I do so many more things than just modeling. Yeah. And I've actually kind of retired from modeling. I just talk a lot about the stories.
Yeah.
And as a topic, it's just really fun that I get to really roll with that character. And that is me, you know?
Yeah, I know. So what has been your favorite video that you've done?
Oh my goodness. That's so difficult. Honestly, I feel like some of my favorite videos were not my favorites when I was working on them. The ones that have taken like pieces of my soul with them, because it's just been so time consuming working on them. I mean, with concept and filming them, and especially post-production and editing. And I think that at the top of the list would definitely be my Zodiac videos, where I talk about the annoying things about your Zodiac sign. And that's my sketch comedy. A lot of people that actively view my channel never really expect me to be a sketch comedian, but I am. And those subscribers out there that have seen those videos, they know what I'm talking about. It's really funny, because normally sketch comedians just stick to sketch comedy and they don't do anything else. And vice versa with just regular lifestyle.
Is that one, right? This one, annoying things about your Zodiac sign?
Yeah. And I did a part 1 and a part 2, and they usually do pretty well. I mean, that one has over 2 million views, but and that was a sponsored video as well.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
But these videos where I dress up as each Zodiac sign took so much scripting and so much pre-planning and so much editing, and especially with the scripting. I mean, I'm usually pretty good at riffing it, but I have to write something out, at least bullet points, for each. And need I remind you, there are 12 zodiac signs, and I normally do 6 to 8 bits for each zodiac sign. So these are long videos, and I just do these. I do these funny little bits for each zodiac sign.
Yeah, so that's what you mean by like it took a heart and soul and piece of your spirit with you, because you poured your everything into it.
Yes, and you can tell like my hair is different for each one, my makeup is different, the outfits are planned out and different for each one. And I do my research, and I mean, the process of just coming up with different scenarios for each zodiac sign and making it funny and timing it right comedically it's very straining and time consuming, but in the best way possible. Like, I feel like I'm dead as soon as the videos go up, but then like after I give myself a day, I'm like, wow, this is like actually something I'm so proud of.
do you in this stage right now, do you do your own editing, or do you have help for any, or do you outsource any part of the process?
Oh, I do all of my own editing.
You do?
And
wow.
I do all of my own editing because I'm very picky. I'm very picky with especially with comedy. Comedic timing is huge for me, and it's something that is, it's very particular to me. It's my own, and my subscribers can recognize when it's my comedy because of the timing and the sarcasm. And if someone else were to try and edit, one of these videos, they would be able to tell because the timing would be off.
I wrote that down when I was watching her videos. I said her videos have great comedic timing. I wonder who edits it, because I assumed you hired somebody to edit it, but that's great. Wow.
I do all of that myself, and I know that if I were to hire someone else, you would see little traces of their personality in it, which is fine for people that outsource their editing, but I want it to be 100% me. There was only one occasion where someone else has edited one of my videos, and it was a collab that I did.
Wow.
But aside from that, I don't hire anyone.
So how long did this video take you? The annoying things, like these kind of sketch comedy videos, everything, start to finish.
Yeah, so that one actually didn't take nearly as long as the part 2. I'm way more proud of the part 2 because I had more thought, and it was shot in 4K and everything. But start to finish, part 2 of Annoying Things About Your Zodiac Sign took me 3 days. 3 days to script it.
Oh.
2.5 days to shoot it, and 2 days to edit it.
Okay.
So about a week.
Yeah. If you do it at full time, like you're in it.
Oh, yes. And I'm talking like in it. And that is yeah. And also I wanted to say, since we are on the topic of editing, I think it would be really interesting for people to know that I'm still working on the same laptop as when I started.
Started your channel?
Yes.
When you came back after that break?
No, when I started my channel.
Oh, wow.
I'm still on the same laptop as when I started my channel, and I'm still using iMovie. I have 1.5 million subscribers. 1.5 million subscribers, and I have always used iMovie.
Are you going to ever like upgrade to Final Cut, or you just feel like iMovie's your jam? I
downloaded Premiere Pro, and I feel like such a caveman using it. I don't use it. The only time I've ever used it was like for text overlay for a parody video, and that's it.
Wow. What about...
That's just like... I know that's a weird flex, but I just really wanted to tell people that.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So what about your camera? I actually had people asking me about the equipment that you use, like the camera. Someone said something like, oh yeah, she looks like she's like upgraded her audio or visual or something recently. Yeah, so since I've moved out to California, I've actually upgraded my audio. I've started using my Blue Yeti for all of my videos.
Okay. Yeah, so my camera, same camera I've always used, which is like a Nikon like DSLR, something.
Okay.
Just a basic DSLR camera, but I just recently started recording my audio files separately on my Blue Yeti, and people have noticed that my videos have gotten a little bit, you can tell the difference once it's there.
Yeah. So for voiceovers, are you talking about
just for the videos? I don't use my mic that's in my camera anymore. I use like my Blue Yeti mic for all of my videos now. So I have like my audio file is separate from my video file for my sit down videos and my voiceovers and stuff. I don't think my camera has it doesn't have a USB export. So or import drives. Yeah. So I record my audio on my laptop on Audacity. Yeah. I record my audio on Audacity, and then I export the wave onto iMovie, and I line it up with my with my video and everything. And so I mean it's an extra step. It's a little bit harder for editing, but I think that in the end, like if I'm going to be moving out to California and taking YouTube seriously again, I want to continue to grow and continue, as with my content. I want my content to get better. And there's no reason why I can't be doing audio as well.
Okay, so this is the end of the interview, and thank you so much for chatting and just sharing so much of your story. It's so interesting. Your story is very, very, really interesting. So this last part of the interview, I call it the Power Hour segment, right? I ask the same thing to everybody that comes on the show, and essentially you're just kind of like blurt out the first thing that comes to your mind. All right?
Okay.
What would you say are the defining moments of your YouTube career?
I would say definitely when I uploaded my Ouija board video, my kidnapping video. That's the biggest one. The collab channels and my iconic resurrection. I honestly, a lot of people have told me it's so crazy that you were able to come back to a dead channel that you have left for over a year to just decay and double your subscribers. So that is, I think that's probably the most defining thing, actually. Everything else was, it was a good start, but the thing that I like to consider as like my defining trait of me and as a YouTuber is my comeback and how I was able to propel myself into this industry not once but twice, honestly.
Yeah, because you're kind of completely rebranding yourself and just a whole new image, a whole new you, like a whole new person in a way, coming back to that. Because a lot of people might even did you even consider maybe starting over from scratch and starting a brand new channel?
I did. I really did. But I felt like I still had genuine, good quality people that were subscribed to the old channel.
And you're probably still getting views from the old channel, right?
Well, my old channel, that is my channel now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but when you were gone for a year, I'm assuming you were still getting views and people were probably still kind of finding you.
There was some residual views, but it wasn't anything major. Like it was dead. My channel was dead. Okay. It was lifeless, and I had that label of the YouTuber that, no one knew where she was, just left, and it was a conspiracy, honestly. Like there were a few different theories.
You didn't tell people? You didn't when you left?
I tweeted it. I tweeted it, but I didn't make a video or anything saying that I was leaving. So there were some theories, but no, I think that I came back to the same channel because I knew that some of my subscribers were still there for me.
Yeah, that's great. It's good. You kind of listened to your instinct and it worked out. What is the hardest part for you about being a YouTube influencer?
The anxiety, and I think that a lot of people have a misconception that you've made it and it's easy now. And now, you don't have to worry about working, or you're good now. You don't have to worry because you've established yourself, which is not the case. The most difficult thing that I've had to deal with as an influencer is the constant maintenance that a channel requires. Mm-hmm. And like I had mentioned in last week's video, occasionally I get burnt out. Occasionally. Mm-hmm. And it's usually rare. But the maintenance that the channel calls for, if you are burnt out, if you are not feeling inspired, it can be harmful for your channel and your success if you decide to take some time to yourself, take a break. And nothing is guaranteed. Even if you have, it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have, nothing is guaranteed for you. Mm-hmm. And there are plenty of channels out there that have millions of subscribers, but no one is watching their videos anymore. They haven't, they're not putting out anything new or innovative or relevant, and that's okay. That's totally okay. But if you're trying to keep up with everything and be an innovator and share new ideas and talk about things that people care about and people want to hear, and continue to grow, then that's something that you have to work for. And that's one thing that just a lot of people can't really bother to worry about.
I agree.
And
yeah.
It's difficult. It can be really difficult to constantly be coming up with new original content that people care about. And it takes a lot of heart and soul from you. And that's totally okay. It's what I love to do, but that's the most difficult thing at the same time. It's the thing that I love the most, which is the most difficult.
I think people see, like you said, you started off by saying, like, they see the life of a YouTube creator, right? And they're like, oh my God, that's so amazing. They're their own boss. They can just sit in front of the camera, and now they have millions of subscribers and making all this money. They have all these brand deals. And
but it is amazing.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, is I never want to sound ungrateful. I never want to sound like I'm not appreciative.
Yeah.
But continue.
No, and I agree with you. There is. That's why so many people want to do it. And there's so many opportunities. There's so much that you can get by being in the position that you're in, right? And it's so new too. It's something that's only been happening maybe the last 5 years. We've had YouTube for a while, but this whole kind of YouTube celebrity thing, maybe 5 to 7 years. And so it looks great, that's from the surface, and it is great. But behind the scenes, like you said, there's you don't really get a break. There's this constant need of churning out content, and it's not like going to a 9 to 5 and then you come home and you can turn your mind off and you're done. It's like you're constantly thinking, what am I doing? Or what about this? Or you're checking your comments. You have to have, I imagine, especially at your size, certain boundaries, right? At a certain point, you're like, I can't answer any more comments. Or at a certain point, you're like, I got to take a break, even if it's for a few hours, because you can't even take a week-long break without planning for it and recording something that you can upload during that vacation or whatever. It's like a constant. What's the next video? What did you do after that Zodiac video, right? You maybe gave yourself a day or two. I don't know if you gave yourself a week off, but you had to think about that next video after killing yourself for this video.
Right.
Exactly. There's a lot to it.
Yeah. And there are a lot of tears that are shed that people don't see. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. And it's like you said,
part of the job.
Like you said, you don't clock out, but that's part of the deal. That's what you agreed to. You agreed to not work a full-time job in the sense of the 9 to 5, but the full-time job in the sense of 9 to 9.
Yeah,
and that's okay. That's okay as long as you have self-discipline and as long as you're a good person and you are of sound mind where you can make those decisions. I think it's time to turn my phone off. It's very important that you have those boundaries, like you said, where you're not always on your phone. And that's another thing too. I'm usually the person in the group that's not on my phone while everyone else is, believe it or not. And I think that that's a habit I'm really proud of sharing, is that I'm really not constantly looking at things like you would assume a normal influencer would. On the contrary, I normally keep away from my phone, you know? And so it's funny. I don't consume that much content myself. I just produce it for other people to consume. And so that's the beauty of being an artist, you know? And the only time I really watch YouTube is when I'm trying to keep up with what's relevant and stay educated on current events and relevant topics. But no, I'm not really a consumer of content. I'm more of a producer of content. And I think that the, you know, constant battle of emotions is it's so beautiful and so artsy, because we are artists, and every artist goes through the same loop of turmoil. And, you know, you hate what you're doing, you hate it, you're depressed, you hate your content, you know, you're so hard on yourself. Why am I not getting any views on this? I put hours into it, I gotta film another shit tomorrow and whatever. And then you wake up the next day and you're like, let's do it, I'm excited. And
I'm inspired.
You just have to understand you're an artist, and that's part of being, you know, an emotional being. And it's beautiful. So even when I'm going through that turmoil, like I'm going through it this week, today I had to film and finish editing, you know, a video today in order for it to go up in time today. And then tomorrow I'm filming a whole video and editing it in order to have a deadline for a sponsorship for that video. And I'm filming a music video this weekend, and I have a fitting for that and hair. And so it's like, I never have enough time on my hands, and I always have deadlines, and it always looks impossible. And I could cry about it, you know, and sometimes I do, but at the same time, there's a solution for everything, and it always works out. It always has. And you just have to take on the workload and
take it in stride.
Have a positive attitude. I mean, that's the most important thing. You know what I mean? Is just having a positive attitude.
Yeah. And then you kind of like, and then this is like a language thing, like for me too, because I get overwhelmed with time, you know, especially with 2 babies and trying to have a business and doing everything. And it's like when you switch the language of I have to, to I get to, you know, I get to do this. And when you really think about it, yes, it's a lot, but I get to, you know, edit, I get to record, I get to film, I get to do all these things. And when you make that mind switch, you're like, oh yeah, I get to, even though it's stressful, but it's good.
No, every day is an opportunity. I mean, and it's not just the opportunity to be in this business, but just to wake up. I mean, there's so many people that in the world that don't even get to wake up. So I like to start off my attitude, just reminding myself of reality and where we are. And that's the only thing you can do in this business. Yeah, for sure. Okay. What are you most proud of when it comes to your channel? My subscribers, just who they are as people, and I'm proud of how they've grown with me, how they represent themselves, and how they represent my channel when they go out in the world, I would say.
That's good. And what is the best opportunity you've received as a result of your YouTube channel?
Well, the best opportunities so far have been more recent. I can't really decide. The main 2 are, I got to walk the red carpet at the Teen Choice Awards, which was really cool. And then
it was here in Hermosa Beach, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I live near there, and I remember it was like all this traffic. I was like, "What is going on here?" And they're like, "The Teen Choice Awards." I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, it was actually really a really funny story. Like we got to walk the red carpet, and you know, and we were with all of these celebrities from, you know, Netflix shows and bands and, you know, huge people we got to stand on the same carpet as. And it was such an honor, but it was really quite funny because as soon as we were off of the carpet, you know, we were in just the regular VIP standing section. So it was almost like, it was almost like as soon as we were done on the carpet, you know,
like, okay,
we were no
longer.
Yep, pretty much. But But I didn't care though, because it was honestly so amazing that I got to walk the red carpet at the Teen Choice Awards.
Yeah.
But that, and also last week, I was invited to the Lady Gaga launch for her cosmetic line, and I got to meet her. So that was really cool as well.
Cool.
So I would say those are kind of neck and neck.
That's really, really cool. All right, last question. So what do you think is your YouTube superpower? Meaning it's something about you that comes naturally to you that has contributed to your success.
I think that if I had a superpower for YouTube, it would be that I surprise people. When people see my face and my channel, they probably don't expect what I provide in my content. And I'm aware of that. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing, that I surprise people in the most enchanting and positive way, in the sense of when people come to my channel, they don't feel like they're just consuming garbage content like junk food. I feel like they're getting their fruits and veggies when they come to my channel, and they leave with a smile on their face and, you know, ready to share that with someone else. And so I think that's probably my superpower is surprising people with and they're not always aware of it when they're consuming my content, but I'm aware of it, and making sure that I'm carrying my responsibility correctly.
I like that you say responsibility, because I truly believe as influencers, on this platform, there is a responsibility. And I think a lot of times people, they don't understand that there is that responsibility there. And to respect it, I think is very telling of you and, where you are right now in your life. And I think that's really great. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. No, thank you, Erika. I really appreciate you having me on. And I think that, it's opportunities like this that I definitely would have never had before. So, no, I do thank you.
Yeah, this has been great. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. So for people that are brand new to you and they don't know you, where can they find you, or where, what do you want to tell people about?
Yeah, so you guys can obviously find me on YouTube as Natalia Taylor. It should be the first one that comes up. I'm not sure if it's verified anymore, because they just revoked our verifications. But no, Natalia Taylor on YouTube. Also Natalia Taylor on Instagram and Twitter. And I want to announce to anyone that's interested, I am releasing some music this month. So anyone that is staying tuned into my social medias, you have probably already heard of this before, but I will be releasing my very first single before Halloween, along with a visual music video that I am starring in, that I am producing, that I am co-directing and choreographing. So yeah,
that's exciting.
that is. Yes, it's very exciting for me, and I know I have big shoes to fill, like I had mentioned before with the YouTuber trying to sing, I definitely, a lot of expectations when it comes to breaking into music, but I think the only expectation I've put on myself is that if my music doesn't change the world, I hope it changes me and helps me grow. So.
Oh, that's good. Well, I cannot wait to see what you do with your music, and that's really exciting. And whenever we have the links and information, we're going to put it in the show notes and below here in the interview on YouTube. So thank you so much, Natalia. This was amazing. And thanks for staying over a little bit of time. And
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
Bye.